Well, cheers. Thank you for bringing this.
Of course.
Here we are.
Here we are. So why did we start a podcast, Jazz?
So no requests. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, talking about all the stories and experiences from a wedding DJ experience, from the wedding DJ perspective. And I think chatting with you about it, coming into the industry, we're finally doing it.
I'm excited. Took a little bit of margaritas to get us to decide on
all good
this.
ideas happen over
some drinks. So that's absolutely. Well, I think the big thing too is I feel like there is that gap. And I think we've talked about this. There's a gap in the industry between what DJs do and what people know they think they do. Mm-hmm. And especially from not only a vendor perspective, but from a client perspective of understanding that we're not just there to play music. It's like at a wedding, we're, in my opinion, one of the most integral pieces to your wedding. And so just kind of bridging that gap to actually let people know, hey, here's everything that we do behind the scenes when it comes to a wedding.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely a stigma as to like what DJs are doing and like, you know, how they might show up and kind of like, again, with the cost that comes into like booking a good DJ.
Yeah.
Just trying to clear up some of those like speculations and some of those stigmas and some of those ideas and getting like a clear picture of like what we actually do behind the scenes, what we're actually doing in gearing up, what we're actually doing like on the day of, and you know, just kind of like the day in a life of what it is to be a DJ. But then also, the horror stories, the not so horror stories, the great stories, the quips, the trends, the
fun family dynamics we get to see.
The fun family dynamics, the awkwardness, you know, all of like just the bull crap that we have to see, and also a lot of like the amazingness that we get to see.
Absolutely.
And so it's like a little bit of both worlds. So it's like, you know, being like candid about actually what we're doing and just like having an open dialogue, a little bit of venting, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of knowledge and insightfulness. And
a little bit of learning too. As we vent, learning how to overcome those obstacles in the future or how to better equip ourselves to where when those things happen, you just roll through.
Yeah. I don't think it would be a bad idea to just kind of talk about it and let people in on the conversation.
The fun stuff.
Especially
in our beautiful, colorful Colorado that we live in.
Right. So coming at you live from Colorado, it's no requests.
How did you get into being a wedding DJ? How did you start?
I don't want to age myself. I don't want to date myself. It was 2009.
Young.
Yeah. 2009, financial crisis. And I was looking for a job in college, and I literally responded to an ad on Craigslist, and it sounded more of a gig to help with equipment and setup and live production and, you know, something along the lines of DJ. But it sounded more of like, you know, being a roadie, more or less.
Did you have any experience with that beforehand, or what drew you to that?
So, I mean, like, I was in college, like, studying music, you know, I was, like, playing in bands, so I was, like, already in, like, the music scene and, like, you know, traveling to gigs, you know, as a drummer and being kind of, like, working with bands and you know, coming up with songs and doing performances and working with other hip hop artists and everything like that, you know, kind of doing like a wide spectrum of like live music stuff. Like I had no aspirations to be a DJ. I thought it would be cool. I've always respected it. I'm like, it'd be super neat. And like anytime like I went to like a buddy's house and they had like a DJ set up, I'm like, oh, this is neat. I wonder what's going on here. You know, I'm like, well, I just want to play drums, you know? And, but yeah, so doing the whole drum thing, doing the whole live musician thing. And, responded to an ad on Craigslist, and again sounded like kind of like a roadie production sort of assistance help setup thing, and I didn't hear from them for like 2 weeks, and I'm in the gym and I get a call, and some dude, he's just like, hey, Jazz? I'm like, yeah. And he's all like, hey, just got your request or application, so you want to be a wedding DJ? I was like,
That's not what I thought this was, but sure.
I'm like, sure, yeah. I mean, if you're willing to teach, I'm willing to learn. I don't have any experience, but love doing music. And at that point, you know, I figured he was going to be all like, okay, well, you know, thanks so much. I wish you best of luck on your job search. Goodbye. And instead, he comes back and he's like, well, you know what? 25 years ago, I didn't have any experience, and I'm still doing it today. So if you're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach. And I'm like, great.
Okay.
So then from that point on, you know, this company kind of took me under the wing. So I like professional DJ right out of the gate, wedding DJ, sure, you know, and we were DJing with CDs, discs. You know, we had like a big old black box and, you know, 2 CDs coming in there, like a little mixer.
Careful. You're starting to age yourself now.
Yeah. CDs, man. CDs. And burning discs and CDRWs. And, like, you know, the technology has come such a major way in technology, you know? And so all of our music was, like, on CDs, and we had, like, a bunch of cases of CDs and everything, and then we had journals and notebooks for the indexes of like where those songs and artists were. So it was like either arranged by artists or the other half would be arranged by songs, you know, and then it would show us like which CD case it was in, which CD it was, which section of the CD case it was in, and what track it was. And so, like, I would have to be like turning to like the index, be like, okay, it's in case 2, and go to like case 2 of the CDs and go like all the way over here. You know, it's like, alrighty, it's gonna be like this CD, and then I pop it in, and I have to switch it all the way to the track. You know.
Oh my god.
And so, like at the end of a gig, it's like I just have like a bunch of CDs like all over my table. You know. So then, like getting requests, it's all like, do you have this song? It's like, I don't know. Let me check. And have to like search for it.
I have a lot of respect for any like vinyl DJ or anyone who DJ'd off CDs, because that's impressive. And I got lucky to where I joined this. I got full into it later in life to where I had all the technology, so it was a little easier for me.
Definitely a lot easier to get into it, organize, and just like have like amazing toys at your disposal.
Yeah.
And like the guy that was training me, he's all like, oh man, when I got started, we were using cassettes or even like vinyl, you know?
Jeez.
And so it's like lugging around all of the vinyl, lugging around all of the cassettes, and rewinding the cassette. I was like, I don't even know how that would have worked.
Yeah, that sounds very confusing. Well, and that's always what I hear about vinyl DJs who start on vinyls. They're always like, dude, the van I had just with the boxes of vinyls that you'd have to sort through. And like, I mean, sometimes I find myself blanking when I'm DJing, trying to like think of the next song. But to know that you'd have to...
You can just type it in.
Hold on. Let me scroll through all these vinyls. This one. Nope. Okay, wrong one. Nope. I got it. I mean, that would be...
Yeah. It's a whole nother, like, patience and skill. And
a whole nother skill set.
Yeah.
100%.
So, you know, long story short, as, you know, that was kind of like the roots of it. Started switching over to the laptop, able to, like, find music a little bit faster. Going off on my own. So I started to veer off from that company, go off on my own. I started up with like another entertainment company. So they were feeding me a lot of gigs, and then I really started like promoting my own business, and been doing it ever since. And like just like love like reinvesting money into like new toys, new equipment. I mean, that's basically like the lifestyle. Is like the toys get more expensive, and the job pays for the new toys. Essentially, and it's been good. It's been good to me.
That's awesome.
So then, Ethan.
Oh,
you've heard it from the old man.
And now the young buck coming in. Man, I mean, I started like DJing was always one of those things where I think, you know, coming from a musical background, I was always very judgmental. I will say, like, even like in high school at the, you know, homecoming and proms, like I was always very like much like, what is this guy doing? You know,
Right.
like, what are they choosing? And it's funny being on the opposite side. I understand it more to where I'm like, okay, like I was that kind of
It's like
guest.
but then you're also wondering, I'm like, am I that DJ?
Am I that DJ? Exactly. And you have that thought process. And so I always like thought about DJing, but it was never really something I started to heavily invest until later in college. My buddy just ended up buying a bunch of stuff. And so like later senior year, we would start just messing around with things. And then after my musical theater degree was done, I went to New York for a while and we kind of stayed in touch. And I was still kind of finding myself a little bit. And when I moved back, he was like, hey, let's do something. I want to start up a band. I want to do this. So we started heavily investing into learning how to DJ. He paid for the Dead Mouse's online course to kind of like
the
learn.
masterclass.
Yeah, the masterclass. He had done that, and so I had watched a couple of those videos and just started messing around. And I was always that person, like while I'd be driving in a car with friends, a song would come on, and I would start singing a different song over it. And I had a friend who. She was like, how do you do that? And I was like, I don't know. It just happens. Like, I don't know if it's ADD or I don't know what it is, but
the same four chords.
Same four. Yeah, that too. It's the 4-chord song. You can do so many songs over it. And so I got into a little bit DJing there just as a hobby, do a couple house parties, have some fun here or there. And then I really didn't get serious until I wanted to take it more serious after the wife and I moved to Denver. We weren't married yet, but I had proposed and I was working in a sales job that I absolutely hated. And about a month and a half after I proposed, I came home one day and I just told her like, hey, I hate my job. I'm not a fan of my life right now. Like, I don't like where the career's taking me. Like, I don't want to be in sales, and like, I just want to be a DJ. Like, I don't know how. Like, I know we're trying to plan a wedding, but I want to figure it out. And so
She's like, a DJ.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, no, and that's the one thing where it's like when you're getting married, you pick the perfect partner, and like it makes all the difference in the world. And that's what I really love about my person is that I came home and I said that to her after proposing 2 months ago, and she, without missing a beat, it was, do it. I trust you. I see you're not happy. I want, like, I can hold down the fort. And like I told her I'd DoorDash, I'd do anything. So I started DoorDashing, and literally a week after I quit that job, I found a posting on Indeed of like, hey, we need a wedding DJ. And I was like, cool, weddings, let's do it. Like I want to do this as a living, so I can start off there. And so, you know, I applied through Indeed. I found the company online, sent an email, left them a voicemail. Like, I mean, I did everything I could just to get them to notice me. And they called me back within like 20 minutes. They're like, okay, so you obviously want this job. And I was like, yes, I have a little bit of experience. I know what I'm doing. I'd love to do this. And got my start there, and weirdly fell in love with doing weddings. And I was like, you know, I was never really interested in the club scene and didn't, like you, I never thought in a million years I'd be like, you know, when I was growing up, I want to be a wedding DJ. Like that was never a thought in my mind. But the more I started doing it and being able to help people's best days of their life and like go off without a hit. And also I could take my musical background of musical theater and, you know, like my love of dancing and be able to create a dance floor and make other people dance. I just thought was such a cool thing. And it gives that itch to it, you know? And then, yeah, I've been in it ever since, going on my 5th season, and decided to, you know, start my own company, and because I wanted to be more involved with clients. I think that's the other thing. Working for a bigger company, I loved it, and they were amazing, but it got to a point where I felt like on the day of, I wouldn't like checking in with the bride or groom. I would already love to get to know them so much ahead of time to where I knew on the day of, I'm not going to bug them. I'm going to let them stay in the moment. And me and the coordinator we know them so well that we can navigate the day when things change out of nowhere. But yeah, that's how I got my start.
There's also the gigs that, you know, you get humbled. you get humbled for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, it doesn't matter like how many events you've done. It doesn't matter how long you've done it. It doesn't matter like what, like the best equipment that you have. Something always humbles you at an event. Like out of the thousands of like weddings that I've done, like I still get nervous during ceremonies.
Oh yeah.
It's like mic dropouts, wind, rain, you know, anything can go wrong. It's like, it's a real intimate moment. And like, the thing is like all eyes are going to be on the bride and groom, no doubt about it, but all sound, ears, and then eyes are going to be on you if anything fucks up. You know, it's all like, doesn't matter if like you got the best venue in the world, best wedding planner in the world, you got the best setting in the world, you spend all this money on like flowers and decor and the photography and the videography, and it's just like, as you go down the podium, you know, DJ is all like, okay, well, we just want somebody to show up and like play the music, you know? And so like all of a sudden the planning process goes on. It's like, actually, you know, it's like, we need you there for sound. We want these cue points for it. We need you to capture these moments during the ceremony, like our vows. How is the officiant going to be heard, you know? Can the videographer plug into your equipment? And it's like any of those... all of a sudden the event is live, you know, and it becomes like a production. And some folks all of a sudden don't realize, you know, how pivotable.
Pivotable.
We'll
go with pivotable.
Pivots.
I like
pivot.
Pivot. That's speaking of friends there. Pivot. Pivotable.
Paramount, the DJ is.
Just change the word out of the vocabulary.
You know, sound drops out, you know, wind picks up, and that is still my worst nightmare. You know, it's like every environment is different, you know, so we're checking batteries, we're checking frequencies, we're doing frequency scans, we're trying to get the best positioning, and you can't control every variable. You do everything you can to prevent every bad variable from happening, and sometimes it's just out of your control, and it's like you still break a sweat. Still break a sweat.
Unfortunately, being in Colorado, we have some of the most bipolar wedding. So that's always my fear too. It's like whenever anybody... it's an outside ceremony, it's like you're taking a risk. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of summer. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the winter. Like, you are taking a risk on what that's going to be, which is fine. But then for us, that's just a lot of that forethought of like, okay, if it rains, if the wind picks up, if it starts snowing, if we have to move it inside. And that's another one where I'm always worried of doing ceremonies too, where it's like, okay, if it's outside... I've had some where like all of a sudden 5 minutes before we start, it's a torrential downpour. And I'm just like, what do we do? And then all of a sudden the coordinator's like, hey, we're going to move it inside. It's like, okay, you got to give me like 15, 20 minutes because I now have to unhook in the rain, carry all this stuff in the rain inside. So it's always those moments that I try to, like you're saying, you just try to think of beforehand. And we've talked about this before, and you said something that I really loved is you're like, you know, when it comes to photographers and videographers, they can sit there and snap 100 shots and they'll find that shot all on the back end. So once the wedding's over, they can go through all those and they can edit them, they can make them perfect. But when it comes to DJs, we have to make the moments in the moment.
We execute the vision in real time.
Yes. Which is different. But also which
allows, you know, photographers and videographers, and not, you know, dissing anybody, because like everybody has an important job during wedding or anything, but it allows them their job to be easier. You know, and like, you know, we definitely like want to create that, you know, and you know, sometimes you just get the photographer that's like very smug, and or the videographer that doesn't know how to work their equipment, and it's like, you know, also very smug. Here's the thing. There's some photographers I absolutely love working with, and it's like I am so happy when I see them at an event, or like we can give each other referrals. Those are the best relationships, you know. and you see them at an event, and all of a sudden it becomes easier to be at the event because you have a friend now, you have a colleague, you have a work associate. Because, like, you know, as glamorous as it sounds to be a DJ, it's lonely out there. It's lonely out there.
Yeah.
You know, you're in a room filled with people who all know each other, and it's like the only people that you may know is the vendors. And if it's all new people, like a new venue, new wedding planner, new photographer or videographer, or catering staff, bar staff, whoever, officiant even, you know, it's like, it can be quite lonely, and you're always like making new acquaintances, you know, new relationships. But it's amazing, like, when you work with people that you're familiar with, everybody knows each other, you know, and especially when it's just like a dream team, you know?
Yes.
So, you know, when it comes time for dinner, you know, it's like you can take a moment, you can take a breath, you know, and actually sit with people that you know and chit chat, and again, have conversations like these, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Talk about the industry stuff. I feel like the reason why they're either our best friends or our enemies is because, like, we do work so closely together, and what we talked about earlier is, like, we create the moments on the spot. Mm-hmm. It's like, in order to make those happen, we have to be the ones that communicate with the photographers. Mm-hmm. And I rarely find it the other way around. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's just because I'm like, and I'm pretty sure you do this too, but maybe that's because I go out and I seek them out before the moments happen and really run through everything.
I want to make sure that they're prepared.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, as long as the photographer is sitting with the DJ at dinner, they know they're okay. Yeah. They're not going to miss toasts, you know? And, like, you know, I know we definitely like to be in contact with the photographers, and it's like, hey, I'm going to go check on the couple and like, look to see, like, when we're about to start toasts. Yeah. And, you know, and it's like, and they love that. Yeah. You know, as long as, like, we can keep them posted about, like, when toasts are about to start, they love that. And it's like, automatically they love us, you know? It's like, or I introduce myself at the beginning of the day and it's like, hey, I'm Jazz. Let me know if you need anything. I'll let you know beforehand, that before we start anything, you know? Good way to get on, like, good photographer terms. Absolutely.
However,
as much as you would do that and try to get them on your good side, you still, again, get some of those people. I had one event, like, okay, before I go into that, let me just talk about something. Everybody has their pet peeves from weddings and wedding vendors during the event. Can we talk about sunset photos?
I knew that's where you were going. Yes. Because I mean, we both probably have stories. And you kick it off. I'm going to let you start because I know you're very passionate about this topic.
Sunset photos. It differs from month to month as to, like, what time that is happening. And more often than not, it always lands, you know, sometime in dinner right before toasts. Yep. More often than not. And that's the time that we're always trying to juggle, is all like, okay, so, like, after the couple eats, we're going to go ahead and take them out for sunset photos. It's only going to be like 10 minutes. It's like, they always say that.
It's never 10 minutes.
It's never 10 minutes.
Never 10 minutes.
It's only going to be 10 minutes. I'm like, sure it is.
30 to 45 minutes later.
20, 30, 45 minutes later.
Yeah, always.
You know, 45 minutes, it's like, you're fired.
Yeah. you were late so long ago at this point.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, you know, it's just like...
Well, but here's the thing. With sunset photos, if you schedule it in the timeline, like, I feel like rule of thumb, and I feel like all vendors are the same way. It's like, our goal is to, ceremony starts on time, dinner starts on time. After that, it's a go with the flow. Yeah. And we will go with what works and try to make it flow as seamlessly as possible.
As long as we get, like, at least, and here in Colorado, you know, it's like, it's a little bit of a different flow, you know, like East Coast, like, it's all like event, dancing, event, dancing, event, dancing. But at least here in Colorado, it's like, if we have like an open dance floor for open dance floor time, if we can at least ideally have 2-hour dance floor. Open dancing starts for 2 hours, you know, 9 to 11, you know. 8 to 11.
Yep.
Perfect, you know? Everything else is like, as long as ceremony starts on time, as long as dinner is served on time, then everything else is kind of like marginal and, more of guidelines, really.
Yes, it's guidelines. Pirates of the Caribbean quote. I got you.
Okay. All right.
No, I got you. I knew it. They're more like guidelines.
They're really more like guidelines.
And don't quote that. What is it called? Oh my God, off topic. But
Pearl.
parlay.
Pippin.
And they're more like guidelines. Wife and I just rewatched that whole series.
Gosh.
So good. Besides the very last one that was made, holy cow, what a train wreck. Anyways, but back to on topic of sunset photos, if they're placed like one, if we know that they're happening, I'm already discussing that with the photographers
Right.
of like, hey,
We gotta know if they're happening.
Exactly, we gotta know if
be
they're
like-
happening. When it's the last minute decision of like, hey, they didn't have this plan, but we're gonna take them out for sunset photos because the worst.
Really?
Oh my God, it'll ruin everything so fast if you don't plan for it. And the reason why is because coordinators and planners are so good at putting that in the timeline and making sure that we're not like, okay, from 7:45 to 8 o'clock, they're doing sunset photos. We just know, okay, we have this timeline to throw in there. But for instance, I had a wedding once where they didn't have sunset photos planned. And the photographers they decided to take them last minute because they were like, oh my God, it's gorgeous outside. These will be great shots. Look, I totally understand, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
If you think you can get good shots, let's do it.
But let me know beforehand. We've
Yes.
already made an introduction, like at the beginning of the night, you know, and it's like, don't like spring this upon me
Last minute.
last second.
And part of our job is to be able to adjust last minute. But the problem with sunset photos is, especially for this particular one, and I had worked with these photographers on a couple different weddings, and they took them for an hour.
Oh boy.
We were 40 minutes late to toasts. Like, yeah, freaking chug it at this point. Because like, dude, you gotta like at least respect that there is a timeline
Totally.
at a certain point. And I understand you want to get these shots.
Yeah.
And they always say, oh yeah, 10, 15 minutes. But no, you're gonna, I even have one
always
be like
times it by
10,
2.
15 minutes. I'm like, cool, where are you going? And it's like, oh, well, they're gonna get my car. There's a spot down. I'm like, oh, you're leaving the venue? No, it's going to take you 10 minutes just to get to the spot that you want to get to.
Yeah.
So but they were gone for an hour. And then that's when like, okay, their dinner playlist is starting to run out. So now I'm just like, on the fly, adding more music in their dinner playlist. And I always make the dinner playlist at
And
least
everybody's like
30
wondering,
minutes
it's like,
longer.
what's going on?
Exactly.
Can
And
we
they come
start
up-
dancing?
Yep, they come us to the DJs and they're like, what are we doing, man? They get restless.
Yeah,
And it's like,
very restless.
where-
And you're like, well, should I start mixing? Should I start giving like a little bit of?
Yeah.
And that's the thing with like weddings, like maybe on the East Coast, and it's like dinner, dancing starts,
Yeah.
and then there's other formalities, and it's like in Colorado, is like we have a sound ordinance, like where like a lot of the places are hard stop at
Hard
11,
stop, yeah.
hard stop at
Yeah,
11. And we only have so much time, so it's like we still need to do these formalities, and then like we can open up for dancing.
Yep.
And it's like I've definitely had to like maybe spin for like a little bit to just kind of like keep the antsiness at bay. But yeah, it's giving notification, that communication. It's like if it wasn't in the timeline, totally fine.
yeah, you can work it in. Just let us know beforehand during dinner when we're sitting at the dinner.
It's about that conversation. It's about that camaraderie.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, by the way, like we're thinking about going out for sunset photos. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, we're looking to start toasts at this time, and like here's the rest of the game plan. And like I'm really trying to like, communicate as like, this is the flow that we're still trying to like make happen.
Yeah.
This is like we're still trying to create this energy, like make it seamless. We don't want any lulls. We don't want like guests to all of a sudden be like, what's happening, Where's the bride and groom, and then bride and groom's like missing their own effing party.
Yeah, they're gone for. Well, and that's the worst. And like, or if you've ever had sunset photos right when the dance floor opens.
Yeah.
That's the other one that I'm like, okay, and I totally get it, especially in Colorado, like the sunset changes. I understand. And usually timelines are very specific, and the timelines from when they start to end, they're normally around the same time frame. And I understand that sunset changes throughout the seasons at different times. But I always try to encourage photographers, give me at least like 15 minutes of the dance floor
Totally.
with the couple on there.
Yeah.
Don't pull them right away.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because like if the couple's on the dance floor, so will their guests.
And I know what they're thinking. They're all like, sunlight fades so fast.
Yeah.
You know, something we don't know about. We don't know about.
Absolutely.
I know, like, I can plead ignorance on it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the lighting is everything.
It is.
It's funny because like sometimes like people will trick you. I was at this one event. The event's going on. I've done all the announcements. We've done dinner. We're going into toasts and everything. Everybody has like done a toast and done their speech and everything.
Yep.
And now we're time to move to the cake cutting. And no big deal, right? And I go to the last person who's toasted. I grab the microphone and I'm in the middle of the room and I'm like, hey folks, one more time, let's have another round of applause for all of our speakers. Everybody's talking and everything. I'm like, at this time, folks, I'd like to go ahead and welcome, and here comes the photographer and he's like, hey man, so the lighting is like perfect right now. And I just want to go ahead and take them out for sunset photos. I'm like, and I like turn to him and I turn the microphone down. I'm like, I'm in the middle of a fucking announcement.
It's like those commercials like, hi, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. So we would like to, and it's like in the worst
Dude, it was like
possible
in the middle of an announcement. I'm like, and I just turned. I was like, excuse me? I'm like in the middle of the room, in front of the head table. All the guests are around me. He just comes up to me. He's chatting to me like it ain't no thing. And I'm just like, dude, I'm in the middle of an announcement right now. We are about to go into cake cutting. We are about to do something. He's like, yeah, but the lighting's perfect. We got to go out. We have to go out. I'm like, you have to go out? And like now we're talking about the timeline in the middle of the effing room. And I'm like, dude, you can't. Are you serious right now? Are you seriously doing this right now? I'm like, I thought you were from New York and fucking professional, man. And like, he's like, and he's like, we got to go out. We got to go out. I'm like, can it wait till after cake cutting? Or he's like, no, we got to go right now.
Well, and I think that's a good representation of how, once again, we are so focused on creating the moment in the moment. Mm-hmm. And sometimes other vendors are focused on, I have to get this moment right now, instead of thinking about what's going on and like, hey, give me a second. Yeah. And like, because it would have been really easy for you to make that announcement and for him to be like, hey, we're going to do cake cutting really quick and then it's perfect for sunset photos. I'm going to take him out right afterwards.
Right. Not in the middle of an announcement.
Right. Not in the middle of
it's all like, wait until I'm like off the microphone.
Yeah.
But literally in the middle of an announcement, like not even like behind my booth an announcement, but in the middle of the effing crowd announcement. And
maybe that doesn't seem
that was like a Will Smith slapping Chris Rock moment.
100%.
I'm like, are you serious right now?
I prepped in the mirror last night for the specific announcement for 20 minutes, and you have just ruined my whole moment because you walked up on stage.
We are live,
smacked
dude.
me with your camera.
So
walked off.
So I told him, I'm like, all right, dude. And then like I got back on the microphone. I'm all like, never mind. We're gonna take a quick intermission. They're gonna go out for some photos. Everybody else, help yourselves to the bar. Feel free to walk around. We'll be right back.
What's your mic drop
of
this episode?
Here, what we're doing is we're calling this segment the mic drops. We're closing out with it. Is our hot tip, our quick tip, our hot takes. It's a point that we want to drive home to couples, vendors, industry, the whole party itself. To drive that home and wrap us up, we're just gonna like mic drop it. And our mic drop for today is feed your vendors.
Feed your vendors.
Feed your vendors.
And not after everyone is fed. We should be right after the couple, right after the parents, whatever. We can wait a couple tables, but gotta feed your vendors within the first,
after the first 1, 2, 3, 4 tables, at least being able to like join in mid dinner, dinner service, mid buffet line or something like that. But being able to eat, grab food, get food, eat, and prepare for the next events that are coming up in the wedding night, because it's all like, we need to eat and we need to get back to work.
And that's the other thing when it comes to catering staffs. I've had to fight catering staffs to feed us, because sometimes in the timeline, if it's a buffet, when the last table goes through the buffet and they sit down, let's start toasts. Because by that time, usually 70% of your guests are done eating, and it's just the last couple tables eating. And that's a great flow. But then if it's like, okay, after the last table, you want to jump into toast right away, but I can't eat after the last table goes.
We'll bring you to your station.
I'm not eating. That is the
That's the tackiest thing.
I'll call
horrible look.
I will call out any DJ right now that eats behind their booth.
Do not eat at your booth.
Don't eat at your booth. I don't care.
You know, you're on the entire time.
The entire time.
So it's like
and on top of that, it's the third wedding you've done this weekend.
And it's the third wedding
you've done this weekend.
Yeah, and you still have to perform.
Yes.
You know, it's just like, it is a time to just recharge. And Goose Fraba, man, Goose fucking Fraba.
Hopefully eat good food, whatever you paid for.
Oh, the worst thing.
Yeah.
The worst thing is, like, there's definitely been a venue. You know, it was like a golf course, and they're all like, we're gonna serve you guys last. You know, you guys are. We have to serve everybody else first.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, well, fine, alrighty. And they take forever to serve everybody, and they're like, okay, so we finally brought your plates out, and it's like, you know, here they have a plate, and they have like a little stainless steel topper, and you take off the top, and you're expecting like everything else that everybody else is eating, and it's just like, it's day old fucking pasta that they microwaved, and it's like, I had to wait for this. I had to wait for you to serve everybody else. It's like, you had this literally done yesterday, and it's like, I have day old fucking pasta, or the oh god, this is the cardinal call, is like the sandwich box. I had a sandwich box.
Dude, the sandwich box. There's a certain venue down south, I won't name names, but always gives you a sandwich box, unless you have a really good coordinator or planner that will push them to give all the vendors the same food, which there's shout out to those planners and coordinators out there.
Love those coordinators.
But there's a certain venue down south that definitely, it's a freaking box lunch, and it's a bag of Lay's and a old stale sandwich and a chocolate chip cookie, and I'm like...
Yeah, sometimes they would give us like a fruit, like an apple or an orange. Yeah. One time I got a lemon. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Put it in your water, lemon water.
I'm like,
good for your digestive system.
A whole lemon. I got a sandwich and a whole
lemon.
And a whole lemon.
The worst thing for us to hear is, oh yeah, we've got your food in the back, instead of sending us through the buffet line. And
I really hope it's a prepared plate.
All of us looked at each other like, son of a gun. We knew. We didn't realize how bad it was.
Yeah.
Until we all went into a different area to eat. We open up our boxes. I kid you not, it's a cauliflower steak with rice. There's no meat.
No meat.
It's a cauliflower steak. All of us.
We're like, here you go.
And we looked at each other like, you've got to be kidding me. We all started laughing. And one of the photographers was like, yeah, not happening. And she ordered Chipotle. And she's like, do you want Chipotle? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to eat it. Now, on a side note, I enjoy cauliflower steaks. It's not bad. Yeah. But let me know that that's what I'm eating. Right. When I stare at all this amazing cultural food of like these two couples, this couple coming together and combining their food and their cultures, and it looks and smells amazing. And I know they're going to have left. By the way, here's a cauliflower steak. Like,
seriously?
I wanted to... We were all so mad. And I was like, oh my God, they didn't even touch theirs. They ordered Chipotle. I just ate it because I was like, I got to get back in there and chat with toasters. I got to...
Just disdainly, like, eating it in front of the caterer.
Yeah, like...
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
I totally understand it. And I've heard of stories where, you know, events have run out of food, you know? And the thing is I've been doing this since 2009. You know, I have done over 1,000 weddings. Not one event has they ever run out of food. I've had an event where they've run out of alcohol, but I've never had an event where they have run out of food.
That was going to be my follow-up, is if you've done over 1,000. I've done over 300 weddings, and I've had one
Really?
Yep.
I've never had an event where they have
Yep.
ran out of food.
It was a taco bar.
Mm.
And there was still a good 50 people left.
Taco bar or taco truck?
A taco bar.
Taco bar.
It was like they came and they set up a buffet, like a taco buffet.
Was it
And-
guests serving themselves or staff?
Yes,
Okay,
it was
so
guests, and that's the problem. And
if
that's
you're
where we're
worried
wrong.
about running out of food,
Yes.
don't let guests serve themselves at a buffet.
Because I watched one guest walk away with not one, but 2 plates with like 4 or 5 tacos on each. Because when people come to
Yeah.
a wedding and they see buffet all you can eat,
Yeah.
and if you were a catering company offering 100 people all you can eat, you better have food to feed 200 people, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they, kid you not, it was 150 people. The last 50 people, the last 3 tables are sitting there, and they've run out of most of the meat. All the meat's gone.
People are just like serving
All the
themselves.
beans are gone. Yep.
You know?
Yep. And so there wasn't anything we could do. And I was releasing tables for the buffet. And I had to go over there and be like, listen, you guys are released for the buffet. They've run out of meat. We're supposed to be getting more. But who knows how long that's going to take. And it took a good 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And by that time, we were through toast. We were already in the dance floor. Dance floor's already open. They came back, refilled everything. And I said, hey, folks, if you didn't get dinner.
Third or fourth
It's-
people that haven't eaten.
Yeah, like I'm so sorry. Like a third of the group didn't get food,
Oh my god.
and I was like,
let alone you.
let alone me. Yeah, I didn't eat. Oh, I wasn't. At that point, I was not eating because
Yeah,
like
totally.
there's no way in hell that I was gonna go get food
Yeah.
and be like, haha, a third of you don't get food. Like if it comes down to that,
Like living off of the mints in the
yeah,
bathroom.
yeah.
Oh god.
grab the mint from the bar. That's when you need the lemon.
Yeah.
That's when you need a lemon.
It's like, do you have cherries up here? Olives, oranges? We got lemons.
We got lemons.
Give it to me, buddy.
Okay, I'm used to it. I get lemons all the time. Yeah. Always have fun at weddings.
Yeah.
As long as you feed me.
As long as you get fed. You know? As long as you get fed.
And mic drop. It was a long one.
And that's the mic drop.
Long mic drop.
Feed your vendors.
brought it back around.
If I can say anything, we can wrap this up with anything, it's feed your vendors, feed them early.
Boom. Hire us both.
Yeah.
No discount. No
And then we wouldn't have to like talk to the photographers.
we can just talk to ourselves at that point.
Yeah.
That'd be the best.
Cool.
Cool, dude.
Peace.